anguish and the guilt that consumed me. Grateful I can tell it, for no more shall the shackles condemn me. You don't know my story,
you just don't know.
for if you did, you would lift up your hands. You don't know my story.
Hello, everybody. First, I was gonna come up here and we just have general conversation, but I came across this story right here, and it was very interesting to me. So I'm going to play this ad. Let's see. How you get it to play?
Boy. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you see his face? Young and innocent, right? Well, that may not be true in this case because this boy is being accused of cold-heartedly killing a man in broad daylight.
When you look at a picture of him, you see him, he's a 12-year-old. I mean, he looks like a 12-year-old, and to see him involved in this kind of crime is extremely disturbing.
This is the case of Jarrell Milton, the innocent-looking 12-year-old boy who was responsible for a deadly shooting. On June 29, 2015, police in Omaha, Nebraska responded to a shooting that was taking place at a park in broad daylight. When they arrived at the scene, they found two men on the ground with a serious gunshot wound. The men were identified as 31-year-old Jamel Ray and 30-year-old Charles Fisher. They had been gunned down miraculously at close range. Jamel died from his injuries while Charles was rushed to the hospital, where he was treated and released. The
recordings just got better. Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce that local recordings are now available on StreamYard. Have you ever done a recording where your guest just had terrible internet issues? They were blurry, they were freezing, you could almost hardly hear them. Well, with local recordings from StreamYard, you'll be able to...
The police launched an investigation into the attack and soon arrested two suspects, but they were not what anyone would have expected. They were teen boys, 15-year-old Shante Villas Primes Willis and 17-year-old Jamar Milton. But what totally shocked everyone was when the police revealed that there was a third suspect in the mix, a 12-year-old boy by the name of Jarrell Milton, who was reportedly on the run.
Covering America Now, a story that may be hard to believe. A 12-year-old boy is wanted by police in Omaha, Nebraska in connection with the murder of a grown man. Police in Omaha have already arrested two suspects, a 17-year-old boy and a 15-year-old boy. Those boys and the one still missing are charged with first-degree murder. Prosecutors say the boys went to a park last week with a gun, shot two men, killing one of them. Police believe local gang members are attracting young kids and pushing them to commit crimes like this.
Jarrell and Jamar were actually brothers, and according to the police, they, together with another boy, had lured the two grown men into the park, claiming that they wanted to buy pot from them. But when the men showed up, the boys reportedly tried to rob them and ended up opening fire on them. The police believed that each of the three boys had carried a gun and that the shooting was gang-related. At the time of this incident, there were about 11 active gangs running the streets of Omaha, and the violent crimes rate was at an all-time high. The prosecution believed that Jarrell and his brother were members of one of these gangs called the Nike Street Gang, whose members could easily be identified by the brand of shoes and clothes that they wear.
The real concern is that they may be doing that in order to have those younger persons actually do the dirty work of the older people, knowing that the consequences for the younger children are going to be less significant, for example, juvenile court.
But how did a 12-year-old get caught up in all of this? Born in a crime-ridden neighborhood, Jarrell Milton was the youngest of 7 children of Lyanna Moss and Jarveris Milton. According to Jarrell's aunt, Diane, Lyanna was a young mother who practically raised the kids by herself.
As the mother who was a baby, having 7 kids stair-step practically by herself, overwhelmed, tired, the system failed her.
The father, Jarveris, who in his own admission was an active gang member, was living in Minnesota while the kids lived in Omaha. When Jarrell was only 4 years old, his mom got arrested and imprisoned for felony assault. And with no one to look after them, the kids went and were sent to live in a foster home. Then, in 2010, their dad was also arrested and charged for reportedly killing his cousin in a narcotics deal gone wrong. He was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. And now, with Jarrell and his older brother also facing murder charges, their aunt said that the boys never really stood a chance.
They grew up in a neighborhood that was infested with drugs and crime, and that's all they grew up around all that. They never had a chance.
As you can already guess, this was not the first time that the brothers were getting in trouble. In 2013, Jarrell was reportedly captured on CCTV stealing candy from a convenience store.
Walked around for like 10 minutes, looking at stuff, watching me, and I was watching them, and then all of a sudden they just bounced out the door and ran. It's kind of shocking because, you know, they're not the best kids and they steal, but you don't think they'd go kill somebody.
After the shooting at the park, Jarrell was on the run for a week, with police even offering a reward of $25,000 for any tips leading to his arrest. Then, on July 7, 2015, police received reports that he had been spotted in Minneapolis, Minnesota, nearly 400 miles from Omaha. He was arrested that same day outside an apartment where he was reportedly living with his relatives.
Investigations say 12-year-old Jarrell Milton was arrested without incidents outside a Minneapolis apartment building. Those sources say when Milton was surrounded by U.S. Marshals, he put his hands in the air and began crying. Now he awaits being taken back to Omaha, where he faces first-degree murder charges.
It happened so fast.
Jimmy Williams was outside the apartments at 1707 3rd Avenue South when he saw U.S. Marshals and Minneapolis police surround a group of people walking out the front door. He watched as they took 12-year-old Jarrell Milton into custody.
He looked like a child, like anybody's kid that you would just be kind to. He didn't look like an adult to me, so I couldn't figure it out.
It wasn't until after the arrest he learned the child he saw put in the back of a squad car is wanted for murder.
He didn't fight or anything. He had relatives with him, and they were adults. They weren't going to let him do anything stupid. So I'm sure they were just as shocked as we were. The looks on their faces explained everything.
Live streaming is great for capturing real-time engagement and generating excitement. But what if you're not comfortable with going live? Not yet, at least. Maybe your company has a really big announcement to make and wants to deliver it with a pre-produced and polished video. You're looking forward to teaching that online class, but would rather focus on student questions than worry about covering all of the material. Oh, perhaps there's an event you'd like to attend, but you don't want to slip up on your live streaming routine. Or you're just looking to rebroadcast your last live stream to capture a different time zone. Whatever your situation might be, Restream is here to the rescue. Upload and Stream by Restream offers.
Following Jarrell's arrest, his aunt gave a phone interview to a reporter in which she claimed that she didn't know what had happened or that her nephew was running from the police. She said that when she saw Jarrell, he looked scared and dazed and just wanted to hug her.
He just hugged me. He held me. He just hugged me. I didn't ask him no question, and he didn't tell me anything. He just held me. The boy is afraid. He's scared. And he kind of looked like he was just dazed, like he ain't there. He's a baby. He's a baby in a messed up world.
Jarrell's dad, Jarveris, also gave a phone interview from prison in which he defended his youngest son, saying that while he was present at the shooting, he was not the one that pulled the trigger.
Come on, we talking about a kid, a baby, a 12-year-old, but y'all start to realize it's not your son, it's not you guys, it's kids. It's my kids, and I know what Jarrell's capable of, and murder is not one.
Javaris went on to say that if his sons were guilty of the crime, he only had himself to blame because he wasn't a good father and didn't set the best examples.
I did a lot of wrong, and I was young, I was stupid, and I was raising kids while I was a kid.
Sadly, there was nothing he could do for his kids now. Despite his young age, Jarrell was charged as an adult with first-degree murder alongside his older brother and Shantayavis. This would have gotten him a life sentence if found guilty, but fortunately for him, the law in Nebraska had been changed earlier that year, making it illegal for someone under the age of 14 to be charged in a district or county court. And being only 12 at the time, Jarrell was taken to a juvenile court.
In court, at just 12 years old, Jarrell Milton looks to stand under 5 feet tall. He wore a blue jumpsuit, handcuffs, and ankle chains. Below those chains, a pair of Nike shoes. Prosecutors Friday revealed the child is a documented member of the Nike street gang.
It's extraordinarily concerning. It seems that the gangs are recruiting younger and younger these days.
Jarrell's 2 cousins showed up to court flaunting Nike apparel as well. They say they don't know anything about the gang or the shooting.
Jarrell was charged with a lesser crime of conspiracy to commit a robbery after it was revealed that he had not pulled the trigger. He was sentenced to live at a group home and would be on probation until he's 19. Meanwhile, his brother Jamar was not so lucky. He was found guilty of second-degree murder, first-degree assault, and use of a weapon, and was sentenced to 58 to 82 years in prison. He'll be eligible for parole when he's in his 50s. But from the looks of this video, it seems like he doesn't really care.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, do you have any thoughts on what you might receive today?
Nah, I ain't tripping.
As for 15-year-old Chantal Yavis, he tried to get his case transferred to a juvenile court, but his request was denied. He later pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and was sentenced to 30 to 50 years behind bars. But the story doesn't end there. When Jarrell was placed in a group home, the judge ordered that he undergo treatment in hopes that he'll be rehabilitated. Unfortunately, that did not seem to have worked because the youngster continued getting in trouble with the law at his group home and was often running away and getting mixed up with some not so good people. News item from April 2019 shows the police asking for the public's help in locating the then 16-year-old after he had escaped from his group home. He was later found in South Dakota, where he had reportedly been living with relatives and was placed back in the group home. At the time, the prosecution asked that the teen's probation be revoked, saying that he had used up all his chances and should be sent to a youth rehabilitation and treatment center. But according to this Facebook post by Omaha police, Jarrell never showed up for his probation hearing in January 2020. His mother told the court that he had been arrested in South Dakota and was facing charges. What do you think about this case? Did Jarrell ever stand a chance of being rehabilitated? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section, and if you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more.
Oh, I'm over here talking and out. Okay, first, I want to thank you guys for coming out. I want y'all opinion on this story. I was not planning on doing this story, but when I watched it, I was like, it was very interesting to me. So do y'all think that he was one of them kids that could have been rehabilitated? Or do y'all think it was part of his upbringing? So no one has any input? You can't, can you hear me now, Empress Cat? Hey, Kriston. I'm going to figure out how to play some of your music. I'm going to figure it out. I'm learning, y'all. Just bear with me. Y'all can't hear me. So what you think, Empress Cat? What you think, Jersey J? Do anybody have any input? Or would it be better for me to drop the link again? I know y'all can hear me now. Right, so that's, yeah, Empress Cat, they said the therapy didn't work. So that's why I'm asking, do you think that it could have been some other kind of help he could have got? Because you took up psychology. So you think they probably didn't just give him a fair chance in the first place, Jersey J? Even though they sent him to therapy and put him on parole in like a foster care. Like, do you think his issue was actually after what happened was deeper than that? Because we got to keep in mind the 12-year-old was there for the murder. Right. So do anybody have any ways? Because see, this can help some other young ones. Like, we can show them this whole situation shows about this gang stuff. Now the other two, that was what, the 15-year-old, he ain't coming home till like in his late 30s. The other one ain't even eligible for parole to 50. Well, his dad already, admitted that, he have his regrets because he wasn't a good father. So yeah, that can be part of it. Okay, I gotta scroll. So, Boss Cross, what you think? Because you be having a lot of good opinions. Well, I think he didn't have a chance. And I think they didn't put forth any effort to like really find out. I mean, they already could tell his dad was in jail, so he probably had some deep-rooted issues that they didn't get to tap into. Or he could have felt like he wanted to be with his family. He was a kid. Jersey J. So, or do you think it was he was following his brother? Because one of them was his brother. Like, what if he was really just there? Because he was following his brother. Right, that's what I'm saying, Jersey J. They probably didn't. They probably just, like how the discussion we had with the mental health, they probably just wanted to medicate him and think that was going to make his problem go away. New York Star, you in the chat? You in the chat? All you got to do is hit the link. Okay, James Bennett said lack of trust in the system and too much loyalty already in him with Game, his brother. He was running with, especially if he's the younger brother. Exactly. See, that's what I think happened. I think that the little brother was actually just there. But they trying to say all three of them had a gun. But I'm really thinking that the 12-year-old was there following his brother. Right, and especially James Bennett since his dad was in jail. Hold up, I'm trying to, I got to talk to New York Star for a second. See, I gotta go back and read. Every child wants to feel that they belong. Yeah, that's a fact too, Empress Cat. Every child do want to feel like they belong to something. I agree with that. I'm reading y'all chats. Log in with Google Chrome. How was you getting up there before? Gotta remember, they have to keep a few to keep the system going. They probably view them as keepers. Yeah, they probably did, Jersey J. That's true too. I'm going through the comments now. The option for Safari, she done hung up now. She said she can't click on the link. I don't know why. I don't know why. So yeah, I think that he was following his brother. They didn't even give him a chance. No, she got an iPhone. They didn't give him a chance. They didn't want to help him because, like Jersey J said, they can make more money by them being in jail. So it's easier to send them to jail, to put them in jail. But this was not my initial. That's why I'm not ready for this, because this wasn't the initial thing I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to come up here and have fun and just have general conversation. But I found this very interesting. So if anybody has any suggestion, we can talk about something different. Because New York Star, for some reason, can't get upon the stream. It's easier to write them off as a lost cause. It still ain't working. Now I don't know. Empress Cat said if you on an iPhone to hit Safari. But you should have been able to come in through Google Chrome, through Google. But I got another story anyway, but I gotta figure out, hold up. Check this one out. Uh-huh.
And we families are planning what to cook for Thanksgiving dinner. Some families here at Reese Houses don't even have that option. Some of the buildings don't have any gas, which means no stoves, which means no cooking. And there are similar complaints at public housing complexes across the entire city. Now, a group of tenants have come together pushing for new solutions to old problems that have been going on for years now.
This is not humane. Shouldn't nobody have to live like this.
Shireen White says her bathroom has looked like this inside Reese Houses for the past 2.5 years.
None of them would live like that. This is not nice. Nobody deserves to live like this, like an animal.
She's not alone. From cracking ceilings
It's like, who can you turn
to leaking pipes.
We have a lot of leaks in our building because the pipes are old and the water just trickles down.
NYCHA residents say they've had enough.
But we the tenants, we're here, pay our rent, follow the rule, you know what I'm saying? Can't get no help. This is nasty. Please, just tell us the truth and let us know when the repairs are coming.
A rally today on the steps of City Hall, calling for immediate change to the way repairs are handled and how public housing buildings are maintained.
They put in ticket after ticket and nothing happens, or someone will show up to the apartment, maybe take a couple pictures, no repairs to follow.
Council members say more than 70,000 apartments are in need of multiple repairs. Instead of waiting for days to get them fixed, majority of people are waiting months.
Nothing's being fixed, so they're closing things without fixing anything.
They want three things from the city: repairs made in a timely fashion, for the city to bundle together some of the maintenance work so they can get repairs done on a larger scale, and to test the water regularly at all buildings to make sure it's safe. In response, NYCHA sent us a statement saying, since 2019, NYCHA has fundamentally transformed its business model, compliance, operations, and management infrastructure. However, these deteriorating buildings are the direct result of decades of disinvestment by all levels of government, and they require $40 billion in capital investment to effectively repair.
They need to come live in these apartments. That's what they need to do. They need to come take a bath from one of these.
She doesn't even touch that bathtub. Instead, she washes herself inside a bucket inside her own bathtub. I reached out to NYCHA today to find out how many repair requests have been made and how many of those requests have actually been fulfilled. They did not respond to my question. Instead, they sent me that statement that went on to say they're continuing to look for solutions and to improve the quality of life for tenants here.
So now, what y'all think about that? You see that nastiness? You see that nastiness? Y'all see that? Now, you right, Empress Cat, that should be a lawsuit. You see how them people can't even take a bath? Oh, you don't like StreamYard, yeah. You on your iPad? So, imagine if you had to live like that every day, Empress Cat. Just imagine. Would you want, if you had a family member, would you want a family member to have to live in those? What? A few months ago, they found a decaying body in one of the units where you live at? That's crazy. But well, I kind of figured that. You know, I didn't think New York City Housing Authority anyway, but that's crazy because when I went to New York, I seen like all these little scaffolds like they was doing repairs and stuff, and then they taking them people rent. Like, oh my God.
Room 9.
Yes. The tenants been complaining about no gas. Yeah. And then, I know it's cold because it get cold in New York. I used to live in New York, and it gets very cold up there. So that is very sad. Like, I feel so bad for them, like, people that, have to. I don't see you, New York Star, back here. I don't know. I don't see you. That's crazy. Yeah. What about the people who got the kids? They can't cook. They scared to. I wouldn't take a bath in that bathtub either. I really would. And people got kids. They taking them people rent. Like, that's sad that they taking those people rent, and it ain't nothing that those people can actually do about it. Because if you hold on to the rent, that's an issue. But they not making no repairs. Well, it could be the elderly. And that's why I'm glad I live in North Carolina, because they got some very nice elderly places here for senior living. They got independent and people that need aids, depending on whatever your situation is. And the pandemic has definitely changed a lot of people's lives, their lifestyle, but that's ridiculous. Because I know those people in housing I know they paid their rent. And for the state, the city, the mayor, the governor, the councilman, the alderman, for all of them to allow that to go on, they need to be sued. Imagine how many people is getting sick. Just imagine how many people is getting sick from the mold, the bacteria, all that stuff that's just in their house. They can't even keep their house clean. They can't even use the bathroom because the ceiling is falling, the wall got holes in them. Like that, no one should have to live like that. No one should have to live like that. I don't see her. She says she in the back. I don't see her. I don't know what's going on, y'all, but New York Star is trying to, she says she in the back. Yeah, the pandemic, look how the rent, and then I bet you they want to raise their rent. I bet you they want to raise their rent like they doing everywhere else. They raising people rent, but their paycheck's not going up. Right, you know what, Empress, that's a fact. Because New York was one of the states that you couldn't get away with them not having no heat. Well, they don't pay for water. They don't pay for water. And you got to buy your own air. But the heat part, yeah, in the wintertime, so they're not technically they're not supposed to turn your heat off in the wintertime, but the pandemic has changed a lot of things. So what used to be, that's a fact, New York Star. Everything is going up but everybody paycheck. How much y'all think a 1-bedroom apartment costs now, today? Just for a 1-bedroom apartment. That's it. So everybody that back in the day that used to, all the females that used to know how to straighten hair and stuff and braid and all that stuff, we're going to have to go back to that just to put gas in our car. But I'm whew. Like, that just blew my mind, y'all, that the people has to live like that over here where they have fundings and stuff. I don't get it. You said 754. Well, that's kind of what it is here. Like, because it's you might as well get an apartment. Oh, you can't afford an apartment. See, person can't even afford an apartment. Let me see. I'm about to Google something. Since I got my tablet up, I'm about to Google something. Look at this. Just look at this. So, this is a 1-bedroom apartment with 1 bathroom, 800 square feet, $1,800. And this is in North Carolina, 800 square feet. That's ridiculous. That ain't even no space. And then they got in Raleigh, which is crazy, because Raleigh normally cheaper than Cary, $2,700. They got some $1,600 and $3,200 for 1 bedrooms. That's not bad at all, Emperor. Sure, I might need to move where you at. I might need to come where you at. That's so. How's the pay rate? Like, how's the pay rate where you at, Empress Cat? How's the pay rate where you at? Sure, I ain't even moving back to New York. For what? For what? First of all, we got used to having cars now, Empress Cat. We got cars now. And a car is a headache in New York. Because you got to get up every morning and move that car from that side to this side and then everybody is running over each other. Ain't no respect on the road in New York. You don't need no car in New York City. I will never move back to New York. I'll go visit though. But as far as living there, I'm with you on that, Cat. Yeah, that sounds good. Knowledge Born, salute. Thank you for coming in. We just having general talk. If anybody got any questions like they want to ask or talk about, just throw them in there and we just talk about it like we always do. So what did everybody do that was positive today? So you saying you can buy, that's not bad, from $50 to $70,000. That 70 is the max? Oh, 50,000. Okay. Okay, 50 to 70,000. I got you now. You gotta excuse me. I've been sipping on some shine. Yeah, I could believe they nice. I could believe that. Something that's worth putting your money into. Because they got some nice houses. Matter of fact, one day I'm going to drive around and show all the houses they putting up around here. They real nice. Some of them is very expensive though, but they nice. All right, so I've been on here for an hour, and I'm cause actually you should buy the land and the house. You should buy the land that the house is on and the house, or buy the land and then build your own house. What you think about that, Jersey? Cat, Star, what y'all think about that? What's up, China Brown? How you doing? Thank you for coming. We just talking. We ain't talking about nothing for really. We just talking. But yeah, so what you think, like for real, Empress, what you think about You buy the land and the house, or buy the land and build you a house from scratch. Because there's some towns and stuff, places that's for sale where you can buy the whole entire town. And I'm sharing that with you, Jersey. You need to look into that. They got places where you can buy the whole entire town. And some of them have houses already that some might need work, but some don't. And then you can have your own town. Got banks over there and everything. Like this real talk. We need to look into that as black folks so we can have our own. We can have our own banks, our own everything, just like the other races do. Right. So you want to start a garden and then you got to buy some land, but you got to make sure the soil. So you got to research the soil and make sure that the soil is good enough for you to be able to plant and grow things properly. But it can be done. All we got to do, right, is go in the country, start there. Get those land that already was farmlands anyway. They were already farmlands. So we get those lands, and then we can grow corn, vegetables, watermelon, fruits, plant trees, build our own town. It can be done. Just that everybody can't go. So what you gonna grow in your garden, Empress? Other than cannabis, but what you gonna grow in your garden? Kind of vegetables that you would grow in your garden? There you go. Say something. Hello? Okay. Stop. Stop.
All right.
You ready?
I'm here.
You here? What you doing?
Peeling potatoes.
Peeling potatoes. Speaking of vegetables, right? And gardens. So I see you figured it out.
I came out and went into another link. You had so many links, so I just kept going in and out till I got the right link. So back to the show.
You found some farmers here. Now, what kind of vegetables you gonna grow in your garden? The farmers. Okay, I got you.
You remember the last time I was on the show, I talked about how if there's no internet and no electricity, how we need to get a books on growing just in case the grid goes down. And that's electricity all over the world. And then they cut off our food supply. Do we know how to grow it? And we don't have access to the internet to say, hey, I'm going to look this up and grow me some potatoes, I'm going to grow me some cucumbers. No, we're not going to have any electricity to be able to do that. So without a book on how to grow, listen, you know what the Chinese man said? Give a man a fish, he eat for a day. Teach him how to fish, he'll eat for the rest of his life, right? So in order for us to go into survival mode, when the unexpected happens, we got to know how to grow our own vegetables, our own food.
Right.
Because right now, what's going on in the world, I see gentrification happening all over. Like, they putting us out. Like, they're not fixing that stuff for a reason. They're trying to push them people out. Like the projects in Virginia, they took the projects, tore them down, right? Took all the people, if you ever was behind in your rent, whether it was $50 or whatever, they weaned out all those people, sold it to the investors. The investors build these nice houses and townhouses, and they're renting them out for $1,800, but about 18 units has to be a part of the deal, the gentrification. That 18 apartments or townhouses or whatever has to be low income, because at that point the investors is rich, so they get a tax credit for having that certain amount of apartment. So versus 1,800, well, your rent is $1,254 because you're below the medium. Not the medium, the median within the area.
Right.
And right now, like places like Southside in Virginia, like you could easily get a place for like $700-800, no problem. Right now, those places, even the dingiest places where I wouldn't be caught dead in, right now they want $1,100. But here's people like me who work for a living. I make a decent amount of money. Y'all already know I'm always trying to find different streams of income. And the lady told me for one of them gentrification places, she want $1,800 a month. I'm not paying that. So she had another unit that was a part of, I guess, the medium. And she told me I make too much money. But here's the tea. Here's the tea, y'all. Y'all ready?
We ready.
She only can go by, and this is coming from the federal government. This is not their guidelines. This is the federal government guidelines that that they have to use the gross. So Uncle Sam is taking his money before I even see my money. You understand? I'm working, hurting my poor little achy knees to death. And Uncle Sam take his off the rip before I even see my money, before direct deposit, before anything. I can pay my bills, anything. He take his out off the top. And let's be clear, I have to have health insurance. So that's going to come out. So you don't want me to have a retirement from an IRA or something? Well, I got money coming out of that, especially if my company going to match what I put in up to 3%. Well, I'm putting the bare minimum. I'm putting in 3%. So all that is coming out. So what I'm making is not what I'm getting. And that's my gross. So you're going by income that I'm not even getting in my possession at all. Denied. Boom. Like, really? So where are the middle class to go? Nowhere. Either you have to be really poor or on a fixed income in order to get help, or very rich. So if you're anywhere in between, you're doomed. Because right now, health insurance when you're working and you don't have over 10,000 employees at your place of employment, it's $600 a month. So who's supposed to live where? So everything is going up except the paycheck. That's not balancing out. That don't make y'all think like, what the heck is going on? They say, oh, the pandemic. No, they're driving us out. For example, Churchill used to be the dingiest in Virginia. I'm from New York. I'm from the Bronx. But Churchill used to be the dingiest. I wouldn't be caught dead. The drunks and just terrible. Right now, all them investors came in, and the people that's drunks and they in that house, they mama worked hard for 30 years and paid off that house and left it to their drunk ass kids. Now they drunk ass kids got taxes owed on it because they drunks, but they got a roof, which was
Yeah. I don't know what happened to her. Well, they did that in Raleigh. They did the same thing. They tore down all the projects, and then they built. They nice too. They built some little townhouses, but they turned them into senior living down here.
life. But he just sold his legacy, his wealth. He sold what he had. If he would have held out, he probably could have got more. You know what I mean? So this is what they did, but this is the area. This is who you dealing with. So they knew they could come in and sweep it up. So these are investors. They got money to invest. So you take 6 houses, and he done gave each one of them 20,000, and they think they living it up. He just fixed all of it and made over $1 billion. And now the same people that moved out got them apartment and had a little bit of change left. And when they got them apartment for $700 a month, that was on a fixed income. That was a drunk. Can't afford their apartment. And if they get put out, they're renting those same apartments that was $800 for $1,800 right now a month. Who is affording that? Who? Not them on no fixed income. That ain't happening. And I see it unfolding before my eyes, and I look around, I'm like, don't nobody see this? I'm nosy, I pay attention and analyze everything. So I pick up on stuff. So I'm like, am I the only one who's checking this out? Like, for example, if I go out to eat, same place I always go, don't switch up. The price went up, but you gave me smaller portions. Not feeling that. The portions got smaller and the prices got higher. And the people that do own their houses, guess what? If they had a veritable interest rate, every time the federal government goes up a notch, the banks raise the interest rates. So your mom, your pa mortgage that had a veritable interest rate is going up. Each time the federal government raises it a notch, that mortgage is going to go up. That mortgage insurance, all that stuff is going to go up where people can't even afford their house. Right now, my sister bought her house. Her mortgage was $1,200. Guess how much it is right now? $1,550. And it's continuing to go up. The federal government is raising those interest rates to try to drive down the housing market because the houses right now are so hard to buy. So it's like they battling and we're in the middle like a ping pong ball. Nobody's prepared. If I've been paying for 3 years, $1,200, I'm paying out what I supposed to, and then you just gonna hit me with the wham, $350 a month. Like, what? Right now, I see so many people, teachers, everybody, they're door dashing and doing all types of things just to try to make ends meet. just trying to make ends meet. One lady I seen working at City Hall, I went into one of the restaurants to get me some wings and fries for me and my baby because I didn't feel like cooking. And I seen her and I remember her face, and she was in there door dashing. I said, I know that's right. We can't make it. Like, something has to give. And they keep voting for people that's not even for us. I don't want to vote for nobody or have anybody govern over me when you don't know my needs, my people needs, our wants, our suffering, the unjustness. All of y'all care about is what's seen on social media, not what's going on in real life. Like, they show all these Trayvon Martins and all these people dying, but it got front page. Police killed my damn son, and I ain't getting no publicity. I ain't have no damn Al Sharptons and nobody else. It was just me, God, my iPad, and my courage as being a mother cub, wanting to know what happened to my son. Gave me the courage to go out there and find out to places and in a city I ain't never been. Right now, I'll say I was crazy for doing that. I lost my mind. But when you got the courage in your heart and you hurt and you got all these emotions going on in the unknown, as a parent, there's no length of where or how you may go.
So
they do everything for publicity. Everything is for, attention. I didn't look for no attention. I looked for answers. Right, and I wasn't going to stop until I got them. And I got them. And I didn't want to be on no news. I didn't want to talk about it when I talked about it when I was ready to talk about it. You couldn't pay me to talk about it because none of them people were by my side, helped me, helped me fight these wicked people that was in higher power, the elites. Things that I didn't even know about or even understand, but came face to face with it. Courage. You understand where they could have took me out. But the look and the fairness in my eyes let them know. Oh, I'm ready here to die today here, Ray. Oh, I'm ready. And it scared them. Okay? The braveness scared them. And I'm here. I could talk about it today. Even the attorneys, which was Trayvon Martin's attorney, was my son's attorney, told me not to come to that town, to stay in Orlando, that him and his people were staying in Orlando. Okay, the attorney is scared. So I can't trust nobody that's scared. I'm not. No. Parks and Crump, that's what his name was. You can Google it. It was Trayvon Martin lawyer.
Talk your talk.
But when I'm ready to talk about it and tell the whole story, I'm going to tell the story and I'm going to expose everybody. And I told the attorney that when I'm ready, that's what I'm going to do. And he begged me not to, and I don't care. I'm a Virgo. I do what I want to do when I want to do it and how I want to do it. Especially when it comes to something that I created and they took it from me without permission.
Yes, they did.
So what don't kill you make you stronger. And I'm strong, and they just don't understand it.
So
they
everybody
just don't understand it.
Hey, Faith, Dre L. Compa managing respect. This is New York Star. This is my best friend for 37 years.
Not 37.
37 years. It's been my friend right here. So that's why I love
y'all. Hey, New Jersey J. What's up, Empress?
Meow.
What's going on? What's up, everybody? But I just want us to pay attention and stay awoke. And I bet you everything I said tonight, I bet you guys, matter of fact, I guarantee, put the TEE on it, that you guys will start seeing and paying attention. A lot of times we see things, but we don't see things until somebody bring it to our attention. Then what we did was I opened up a little light bulb, and now when you start seeing, you're going to notice and pay attention and be like, you know what? You're going to start seeing it. You're going to start seeing it. Anybody that move out of their apartment, that market rate is going up. You were paying $1,400, $1,800. It's going to be $2,700 moving out. And this is what they're doing. Gentrification. The first time I ever heard that word was on Boys in the Hood. That's the first time I heard that word. I was young. I was watching Boys in the Hood, and I'm like, gentrification. You remember when Lawrence Fishburne brought them?
Yep.
Them two. Is that Boys in the Hood, Renee?
Yep.
Wait a minute, I could be old, y'all. Hold on. Yeah, I think that's Boys in the Hood.
You are old.
Uncle Jeffrey. But anyway, that's the first time I ever heard that word. And the old man was like, no, it's these people running them out, talking about the hood guys that was hanging on a corner. But Lawrence was saying, no, that's not it. They're coming in, these investors, and they pushing you out of your neighborhood, out of your homes. Now, like, for example, I went back to New York in the Bronx and projects, right? And I was walking through there. We was having some type of maybe John Adams reunion or something was going on. So I've been in that project a long time. So I'm walking through there. You know, I got my little bop, like do coming on through. Watch me walk through, coming on through. And I noticed all these strange looking people. And I'm getting an attitude because they staring at me like I'm the stranger when they the stranger to me. And I'm looking and I'm like, these are a different breed of people to what I'm used to. And come to find out, I don't know what we used to call them, Renee, but they took over.
I'm not Renee.
They took over that whole project. The whole thing. The whole park, everywhere, the whole place was flooded. And this is how they push you out. And it's happening all over, like down here where I'm at, Virginia. Virginia rent was so cheap. I can't even afford to live here.
Yeah, they
some
did
places in New York that's cheaper than here, and they tripping. They really are.
Yeah, Faith.
Because
Faith, you can't see the comments. Faith, they did buy Old Block. You're right. They sure did. You know Old Block, where King Von from? Star?
Yep.
They bought that.
Where is it? I can't see the shit. I don't know why.
You gotta click on comments.
I did.
Now you see where it say price?
Okay, there you go. It's coming up.
Yeah.
It had to load.
What? I'm trying to read the comments. She wanted the she the one want to see the comments. I'm trying to help her out, meow. I ain't doing nothing. I ain't doing nothing. She love the love.
I love the love. You know I love the love.
Did you let
But
them know?
nevertheless, like they're gonna definitely, I mean, you guys really just pay attention. You're gonna see. Anyway, what I like for us to do is a little bit of homework. Like go to in your town. I want you to go to maybe apartments.com, housesforrent.com, and let them look in your neighborhood and look at what is your market rate going for. So from the last time y'all probably looked for a place online and looked at the prices, it probably been a while. But I promise you, if you go on there, you would definitely see a difference. Houses that used to be 129,000 raggedy, not even fixed up, $269,000. Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And it's not going down. It is not. They got these little side deals going on, whereas they have to rent to a certain amount of low subsidy apartments. But guess what? These investors is fine with that because they're rich. So they're going to get the tax credit for it. You're still getting rent for the unit, and you're going to get a tax break when you file your taxes. So guess what's going to happen? There's a cap on how much they can pay. I think it's 150,000, and they're billionaires. And people like me and you will end up paying more taxes than the billionaire. And
Right,
that's a
'cause
fact. That's been proven.
They have tax write-off. A lot of them.
Listen, me, I'll end up paying more taxes than they would. And they're rich. And that's how these politicians got it all set up. It's all like a full circle thing.
Niecy, read what Faith said.
Who?
Faith.
Oh.
Read what she said.
I know that's right. I know the hell that's right. By the time it was all said and done, he claimed he spent over $1 million trying to prove a case that never went to court, that never went to trial. He backed out when a judge said something to him. He backed out, but I let him have it. Believe me. He talking about he got to meet me one day. That's what he told me. He was like, I'm going to make it my business to meet you. Blah, blah, blah. This is how he talk. And I'm like, bruh, they took my only son. And I feel like you in cahoots. You don't want none of this. I promise you.
Yes, and I know what you went through to have that son.
You don't want none of this. So I ain't heard from him since. So he said he spent $1 million on experts and all this and all that. So, nevertheless to say, his kids didn't get shit and the attorney got all the money. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Right. When I talk about it, I'm going to talk about it. And he can come to me because it ain't slander or defamation of character when it's straight fucking facts.
All right.
So, straight fucking facts. I got my paperwork. He better have his.
Yeah. So
Right. Faith, he is the worst. When I tell you he is the worst. But I let him have it. And I told him, I said, let me tell you something. I said, you take this for what it's worth. I said, the revolution will not be televised. Because what he said to me, when I tell my story, I'm going to let y'all know, like, what this man said to me, I just was like, you just soft and buttery. Like, I don't feel like, at first I thought maybe like, oh, yeah, you for the people, you'll fight. But as soon as the white people yell at him, he fold like margarine. He just buttery. I'm telling you. So I just can't. He just buttery, liquid.
Buttery.
I'm trying to tell you. He the squeeze kind. I'm trying to tell you. Straight liquid. Just buttery.
Ben
No
Crump. Well,
backbone.
I already told you when you're ready to tell, when you're ready to tell it.
Yeah, when I'm ready to tell it, I'm going to tell it. Just like I said. They want to pay me for it. They want to do this. You can't. I can't be bought. I can't be bought. Because I can't miss shit that I didn't have, so I'm not impressed. The best I've tried. But when I'm ready, it's going to be for me.
Read what Empress Cat says, though.
Okay. What video?
You didn't see the first video with the 12-year-old boy?
No, you know I was having technical difficulties.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
But
well,
I think I seen a clip of it prior to it. But that ain't nothing but that Emmett Till and all that stuff. You know, all that stuff been happening. It just been hidden and we didn't know about it. A lot of that stuff always is just crazy. You showed about 3 videos, Renee.
I gotta go find it again but you keep talking while I go get it. Got you, Cat.
But y'all can tell me about it. Refresh my memory.
I'm gonna go get it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dredd. Thank you so much. I just really wanted to know what happened. I wasn't looking to hurt nobody. I just had to know. It was like I got this strength and this mother cub thing. Like I never even been to Florida. I took my iPad. I took a plane out there. And I went every place he went that day, talked to people. And it was like this rough neighborhood that looked real dingy. That they say he gave somebody a ride from over there. But I wasn't even scared. Like I walked through that neighborhood like I had a full armor on, that I had machine guns and the whole Nation of Islam behind me. I'm telling you, that's how I walked in there. It was like the urgency, the yearning. It was like I was fiending to understand, like I couldn't rest until I knew what happened. It was like I was yearning for closure. Like I needed it. I needed it because I never cried. I never, ever cried. I just stayed strong because I felt like once you start crying, they start feeding you and telling you all types of stuff and you can't think. You can't think on your feet. And I'm swift on my feet, but if I'm emotional, I can't be. And I couldn't let them do that. So I never cried. But it's a funny thing. Like sometimes I'll be at work and I'll be in my office and I'll just cry. Not yell out cry, but the tears would just roll and I can't stop it. And then other times I can just talk about it, not crack a tear, voice, nothing. I'm just strong, you know, and I know he's smiling down on me because he know who I am. When they did that to him, I know what he said. Y'all got the right one. Y'all done let my mother loose. She ain't no regular mother. She coming. And I did. I came from all of them down to the police officers that got the audacity to be there during his autopsy. And they paid for it. It was a private autopsy at that. Yeah. Who covering what? We're going to talk about it, though, y'all. Just not today.
This the video.
He took all the money, Faith. He took all the money. My son kids got like $5,000 a piece. That's it. He took all the money, saying he kicked out all this freaking money on experts. But why would you do that? And we never even went to court. Every time it was time to go to court and I took off, bought my plane ticket and all that, 24 hours he'll call and cancel it. Oh, they canceled it. Oh, they postponed it. Oh, they did this, which was making me think he was full of it. But, you know, I just never knew, you know. I just
El
got bad
Compa,
vibes. I just didn't get the honesty. I got
Lisa,
con man. I didn't get honesty from him.
um, 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 El Compa said, "Who stole all the money?"
The damn attorney.
Huh?
The attorney.
Oh,
Because he claimed, remember, I said he claimed that he spent over $1 million of his own money hiring experts and investigators and all this stuff. However, we never went to trial like we were supposed to. Like I said, they postponed it at least, I know, 5 times. 5 times.
I remember that.
5 times.
I remember.
Okay. And then when it was time, he was like, he wanted to settle. And I'm like, no. Because it
That's
wasn't
what
really
we.
about the money. It wasn't
That's
about
what
the
we're
money for
saying.
me.
USC. That's what we're saying. USC. Something ain't right.
Yep. Listen, you think that ain't right? Wait till you find out how we found them and niggas police putting notes in his pocket, telling us where the car is. Man, this shit is so wild. I can't make this shit up. Look, listen. Excuse me. But listen, when I tell this story, I can't make this up. And when I said I had nobody, I had like you don't nobody prepares you for this. Nobody prepares you. You always look at it on TV. You look at it on YouTube. You look at it, but you know, when it hits close to home, it's like, where do you turn? The media is not talking about my son. Y'all covered that up real good. And Florida laws is crazy. It's like they make up things as they go along. And they all in cahoots. All of them. All of them. Every last one of them. And I know it's some strong elite people because I ran across them in Florida trying to deal with my son's case. So I'm not saying, I don't even know if I can blame this man. I can blame him because I feel like I'm going to blame him on the strength of I feel like he took advantage. This was unjust. It was wrong. I'm a black mother with a black son, and my son was murdered. Okay? So I feel like, oh, well, he stood up for Trayvon Martin, and me being a typical mom, single mom, you know, maybe, you know, he can help with my son. And I'm thinking justice. He's not thinking justice because, mind you, he's not the first attorney. Matter of fact, I didn't even choose him. My son's father chose him. But I chose one of the biggest law firms, and they was all white, right? When I sent the case to them, he came out, he interviewed me, and he asked me to send him all the stuff. I sent them the stuff, right? So when I sent them all the paperwork and the information, I'm like, okay, 30 days went by. I called, left a message. 2 more months, 3 more months went by. I'm calling and left a message. So then now I'm getting an attitude. So then I call and I send an email and I'm going off. Next thing I know, I get a letter in the mail, right? And it's with all the paperwork I sent him. And he's saying to me, look, I can't take this case because the outcome is not going to be beneficial for me. He said, but there is a statute of limitation on here. I wish you and your family the best of luck in all my prayers. So at that point, this man was holding the file, waiting for the statute of limitation to expire. But then as I was sending an email and going off, I guess he found it in his heart to say, look, because I'm sure they investigated and talked to the prosecutor and all this, because all of them was involved. And they told him, what's what. So he just on a low, respectfully, I'm not going to mention his firm. He on a low kind of told me, so many words like, yo, get you an attorney. I just can't be that one. Like they all run in circles. So I tried to get someone outside of that town. And that's when my son's father said, well, let's go out in Tallahassee and get Trayvon Parks and Crump, attorney, Trayvon Martin's attorney or whatever. So then at that point, I'm thinking justice, and he thinking, oh, a wounded mother. But he found out the hard way. He found out this ain't that. This is not them regular moms, Even a hospital, I think it was Cooks County or Kings Cook County hospital in Florida. When I looked that hospital up, 8 mysterious black men died in that hospital, along with my child. But one of the men's wounds was not severe, but he died 3 days later under the custody of the sheriff department. Kind of like the same way my son demise. But my son did tell me maybe a month before his demise that the police was following him and he didn't understand why. And I was like, boy, you tripping or whatever. He was like, no, I'm telling you. I was like, well, videotape their ass. He was like, what? He said, you crazy, Ma. He said, look, out here, if they pull you over for a traffic stop, they got guns out pointed to your head for a traffic stop, things like that. He said, Ma, these is like the sheriffs out here are the police officers like in New York, or the police officers out there is like the internal affairs to the sheriff. Like Florida laws is much different from my understanding. Like they can hold you against your will under something called the Baker's Act or the Baker's Law or Baker's Act, which they used that tactic before as I did my research more than once. But when I tell my story, you guys are going to see how my son left me clues. Like we were so cool and so close. Like him and his father used to get into arguments. Like, for example, if his father told him something, he'll go and call me and ask for my opinion or my advice or ask me, is it true? And his father would get mad like, I'm your father. You think I'm going to tell you something wrong? And my son would be like, I know you're going to let me call my mother and ask if I want to. He used to make me laugh so much with that because he trusts and value my opinion, and he knew I was very sharp, and he had my little sharp thinking as well. So when I went out there and I did my little research and follow everywhere he went, I know why he ended up in the hospital. He was trying to get to a public place, but unbeknownst to my son, while he was thinking he's slick, that hospital was in cahoots. So it's going to all make sense when we tell it. I think I probably think I'll do it after New Year's. Think I'll set a date after New Year's.
Like I told you, when you're ready to talk about it. When you're ready.
Yeah, the only reason why I'm saying that is because I want to go through some stuff and I want to produce my receipts because I speak facts, because I wish one of them would, I got screenshot, text message, voicemails. They don't want to play with me. They don't want none of this. They better leave me in retirement. That's what they better do. You know, I didn't take it as far as I could have taken. I said, I'm going to find out what happened and I'm going to let it go. Because with me being a Virgo, and I've been through some things, and I'm really honest and try to do the right thing and righteous and help anybody I can help. So when you done wrong, it turns you into a different savage. You know, when you good, and you expect everybody else to be the same heart like you got, and they not, it'll turn you into a savage. And that's not what I want to be. That's not who I am. So I let it go. Because with me, I'm either not going to say nothing or I'm going to take it too far. There's no in between with me. See, I know me. But when I'm ready and I pull out all my paperwork and I tell my story, it's going to be like, you know what's going to be so crazy? The audience is going to be able to interact because it's going to be like a puzzle, a mystery. But then everything that they saying and the proof that they producing, I'm debunking because it's not making no sense. A person that's in a hospital for 2 days, they're not going to have their clothes on. They're not going to be fully dressed. And if an ambulance brought him to the hospital, how there's a note in his pocket telling us where the dead man's car is. And then where we found the car was blocking a dealership driveway. And it's been there for 6 days till I got there. And nobody told it. Where they do that at? Nobody told it. It's in the way of dealership, blocking the driveway. Nobody told it. Who got that type of power to say, you better not throw this car? Who? You blocking my place of business, I'm towing this shit. Nobody told it. Unbelievable. Nobody told it. I had no keys, but it was a whole note in his pocket. A whole note in his pant pocket. Please tell me why he was dressed and he'd been in the hospital for 2 days and nobody contacted the next of kin. My phone number been the same for 40 years. He know that by heart. If he go to jail, he won't know nobody number but mine. Because it's been the same. And he's a mama's boy, so he's going to call me. And I spoke to the nurse that was taking care of him the day he died. And she admitted some stuff too. But when it was time for her to go to court, oh, guess what? Guess what, guys? She can't come to court because she has cancer. The cover-up just never stopped. They suspended the police for 30 days with pay. Okay? 30 days with pay. And when they came back to work, I called them every day for a year. Called them, asked for them at the precinct, and told them every day, oh, you going home to your son. But I just couldn't let them forget because they so used to doing this and getting away with it. I just wasn't going to let you forget his name. And before he hung up on me, I am like, this bitch just won't go away. And I'm not. And I called them every day for a year. Every day. For a whole year. Straight. I just didn't want them to just go on with their daily lives and think you was going to forget. I mean, I know they don't have a conscience, but I needed to make sure he was present in their brain every single day, sometimes twice a day. It just depends. You better know it, USC. Stop. My Yorkie is being worse, y'all. But it's been a long journey, you know, and I'm real strong. I'm real strong. I don't look for no sympathy and nothing like that because I ain't no buttery type of person.
Kill me
But
with this buttery.
yeah, like the attorney. Soon as that white judge said something to him, he was like, "Oh, I don't think we going." Well, why wouldn't we when we got all this evidence? You just spent $1 million, so you say, on all these experts, and you find out they lied. Instead of 3 police officers, it was 8 and all types of shit. So why? I just felt like, I don't know. Like right now, I just felt like he's a liar. But I did get what I wanted to get. I wanted to find out. I accepted what happened. I wanted to find out what happened to him. I found out the truth. And I'm good with that. I'm good with that. I had to find out what happened to my son. And I did. I found out the truth. I ain't let them build no false narrative. You can't tell me anything. None of that. So I found out, and I went from place to place. iPad was going dead because I had my phone, and then I had my iPad just Googling all the places, and then I didn't even know the people. I had names, and I was going through neighborhoods asking for people. I could have been killed doing stuff like that in Florida. I ain't really nobody out there.
Well,
But
that's
I
what.
did. And I found out everything. And it's so crazy because when I sit back and think as I'm telling the story, to look at these people faces, they were really scared of me. And I guess my actions of what I was doing, made them think like, hey, she's really crazy to be coming through here and she's demanding questions like I was the police. I even went to the store, got the manager, and got the footage of my son getting in the ambulance. So I knew what happened. I knew what happened before they did their little investigation.
Hey, Faith, how you doing? How you feeling
Hey,
today, Faith?
girl, I'm at the hospital. I'm in the hospital, girl.
What you had? Surgery again?
Yeah, this is the third surgery, but this time it had got infected everywhere. So they're trying to see, it might be rejecting my body, the plate, something they put in a foreign object up in my body. So I don't know. But anyway, hey, my 2 sisters, my 2 babies. That happened to me. Let me tell you what they did to me at this hospital. My son died. Anyway, I ain't gonna put it that long for y'all. My son we brought him to the hospital, and they say that the ambulance picked him up. They did not communicate with the hospital. Never communicate with the hospital. So when we got there, they just like pump his nose out. They said, "Oh, he's gonna be a football player." Girl, I tell you, I got my baby back home. Jesus Christ. I woke up, he was dead. I had this big old lawyer, and he said he had got an expert from Vancouver, however you can. I think that's Vancouver, whatever. The man did come to court, but guess what? I lost. And guess what the Holy Spirit showed me that they bought him out. Do you hear me?
Yes.
And this was recently. I just called
Faith.
this man recently. I called him recently and I told him, I said, let me tell you something. I say, do not hang up in my face. I say, thank you. He was like, I'm so glad to hear Butler Ramel. I said, thank you for buying me out. Okay. The man couldn't say nothing. He knew I was telling the truth. You hear me?
He is phony as the day is long. You hear me?
The hospital just killed my mother. My mother, they give her too much infusion. My mama went there for her leg. And her leg, that day before, my mama was more active than me. And then that next day, her leg started hurting. So she went there just for her leg and came back dead. And they didn't think. I don't know who they think. I don't know. Alice Ito Shears, the lawyer I worked under, I got my paralegal license for state and federal. she was taught me everything. You hear me? She ain't limit.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't our culture. Sometimes our culture, they don't want to teach her a lot of stuff, but she taught me
Yeah.
everything. And baby, when I tell you, they didn't think I was gonna go get the medical records from that hospital. Come on, somebody. And when I went, got the medical records from the hospital, the ambulance give us some fentanyl, not the street fentanyl, the fentanyl they got at the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah.
give they give her that. My mama was having chest pains in that ambulance. It was so much they did to my mama, girl. So I don't mean to. I know you ain't no girl. Yeah, we young. We
No,
must be
you
young.
fine. You fine. I
They did
understand.
so much to my mother, and to go against a hospital or ambulance or whatever is hard to do because they
Every
America.
time there's a black person up there, I see him up there seeing nothing but them teeth, sitting up there grinning.
Yes, because you know
Yeah,
why?
I know you
They done
laughing
bought
fake,
them
because you
out.
know he black and all you see is them damn teeth.
Ooh, that thing look a mess. God forgive me. But anyway,
Glowing like a light bulb.
I was about to. I'm glad you said this. It was number confirmation because I was about to get him from my mama case. He was texting me, the group. They was texting and say, "Can we help you?" Oh no, buddy. I'd rather let the kids. I'd rather let the kids expire. You hear me? For to get hurt because messing with you can mess with me. And I see how you feel. How you saying that, Natir? I'm gonna just say my Natir. I know how you feel. You can mess with me, but don't mess with nobody. Don't mess with nothing for me. And that was my child. You know what I'm saying? And my mama. So,
That's right. My mama don't even play. Don't nobody play by mom.
girl.
Don't nobody
And
play about your mom,
that
but you
felt
get a
the same
strength out of
way.
nowhere that you just don't know. When I tell you God guided my footsteps, but when I thought about it, I was
Yes.
nervous, like, oh my God, like after the fact. But during it, I had the rage of fire.
Me
Every step I
too.
took, it was like it was just guided and anointed.
Ooh, like I was, girl. You would have almost seen me on the news. I'm telling you, I was thinking so. Even I had to say, "No, God, you chose me. I can't do that." But God did start in the Bible. Who was the first murderer that we know of? Him, huh? Come on, somebody.
Right.
40.
Right.
He 40 days and 40 nights. You know how many people drown? You know how many kids drown? You know how many things?
I prayed on it, and he told me, he said, once I revealed it to you, he told
Leave
me
it
to
alone.
let it go. I said,
My
this,
mama did the same thing. I was just
the
about to say,
Lord
I
done
don't want to
showed me.
scare
I said,
you.
how he know me better than me?
Listen,
He
I was just
do.
about to tell you, people call me from all over the world, and I don't charge nothing. I have this gift, prophetic gift I born with. My mama used to say a prophet, no, a psychic. I said, no, mama, don't say no psychic. I don't, psychic be making me stay spooky. They spray stuff, and I'm already from Louisiana. They be trying to tell me, everybody from Louisiana.
Yeah, we call it prophesizing.
Huh? You can hear me? Y'all can hear me?
I know a couple of people like that.
Oh,
I can hear
yeah.
you.
I born with this gift. I don't charge nobody because God's word is free. You know what I'm saying? But
That's
I
right.
can even tap into spirits. I can tap into your son. I'm probably I'm gonna probably give boss my number, like Cross give her the number and stuff, and I can talk to you like that because I don't give no fake numbers. I give my real numbers. Y'all family, that part, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
But you're gonna be. He's good. He made it to heaven. That's one good thing. That's a blessing.
saying, you know what I mean? But when you hear it, like I know it just took you to a place, like God put people in your life for a reason or a season.
That's true. That's true.
And I believe that, I haven't been on here in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And Renee, Mecca always tell me if I want to, when I'm ready. And I think I always look at this little show, and I always sit back and I think, I was like, I wonder if I just want to know, is he okay? It's just, that closure. I got the closure where I'm okay with what happened, but when it's your baby, it's like I want to know if he okay, and it's yearning
Baby,
just
your
to see
baby,
his silly smile.
he was very comedian. He was a very comedian
Yes, he
person.
was.
He
He
loved to
was
make
funny
people
as I
laugh.
don't know
Yes,
what.
he
Have I
You
was.
ever
can't
talked
get
to you before? I never talked. I
mad at
talked
him.
always on the thing. I never talked. He was. Oh, then he was a mama's boy. He loved his mama, and it's
You
more,
better
but
know
it's
it.
not. If you want boss to be on the phone, she can hear, but it's not for everybody. Hear your
Yeah.
blessing. You know?
He's my godson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that's your
He's
cousin.
loved by everybody. Like,
That's
even
why
if
I
you
say
get
I used
mad
to
at
be
him,
on the
you
phone.
can't. He's one of those people you can't get mad at, even when you mad, face. You just
He
can't.
gonna make you
You will
jump.
still laugh when you mad, and then you're gonna get
Mm-hmm.
mad because you laugh and you want to be mad.
Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
He's
I miss
blowing.
him so much.
It's blowing.
Like, I
I'm
just
at this
want to
hospital, but I can talk.
hug.
He's
One more
blowing kisses
kiss.
at both of y'all.
One more hug.
I can actually see him. He's blowing kisses at y'all. See, when I have this, I get weak and but I don't mind getting weak for y'all. I'm telling y'all, he's blowing kisses. He's blowing kisses. So he's in heaven. Trust me. And I stand on. See, people might say, "Oh, people might be called," but I know God chose me. Everything I have told.
I'm raising his daughter.
He loved that. He glad you're doing that because you raising her in the way that she's supposed to be raised. He didn't want it to be no other way. Come on, somebody. Hello? You on here, huh?
To say stuff right before he passed away.
Crazy. That's crazy. She's saying
He
that.
set it up. Like he said he set it up where he told a judge that the best interest of his daughter is with me.
Right.
I never knew he did that. Yeah.
And no, you didn't tell me. I got the chills all over.
The judge, before he passed away, he set it up and told that judge that the best interest of his child is with his mother, and if she's gonna have a fighting chance, that he'd rather see her with me.
Yeah.
So nevertheless,
And God is
I
gonna
got
have
custody.
you here for a long time. God is gonna.
But
have you.
he had a gift like that too,
Mm-hmm.
and he said he had the judge do this, and nevertheless, 3 years later, his baby mother that was staying in one of my houses, I had to give her a pay quick because she wasn't paying rent. So she went down there and tried to file for custody for her to be spiteful because she know I don't care about nothing but her since I lost my son. So you know how narcissists try to play you. So that's what she tried to do. You can't hurt me no other way. You're broke. So you can't, you can't do nothing to me. So she did that, and it was so crazy. I did not want to go to court and deal with this, but the judge came out and said, I'm gonna read something from a young man that I talked to and I was very impressed with. And he read it. And I'm like, who said that? And he said my son's name.
Come on, somebody.
He said this was 3 years ago. I said, my son is has demise. He was like, I was very impressed with his conversation. He said, I talked to him on the phone. I had a very good conversation with him. He had a lot of admirations and goals and things like that. He said, but I had a man-to-man with him, and I believe everything he said. He said, why are you really here? He told her, get out of here and don't come back. And then he told me, he was like, if you want to move to Africa, Hawaii, wherever you want to go, you don't need no permission.
Come on, somebody. You don't need no.
So, and then he told her, don't never come back here again. He asked me, he said, you don't want her to see? I said, she can see her anytime she wants to, because I'm not like that.
Right.
And she haven't seen her attempt to nothing, birthday, nothing. Nothing.
Because she never wanted.
I always been open to that. I always tried to push that until one day I seen them reject her, and it hurt my baby feelings, and I had to go to the left. You can't hurt my baby because I'm hurt, you know. So I never let her, I never pushed it, anymore. Like she used to be happy to go over there. And I seen like her grandmother, which is her mother's mother, like she's running to the door to get ready to go in the house and see them. And she put her leg like sideways to block
If you
the
wouldn't have
door
got
face.
if you wouldn't have got that little girl, I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna be real with you. Somebody would have touched her. Because they
And
have,
she built like a brick shit house, let me tell you. And she's
and
only
she have
12. Ain't
that
she,
family.
Renee?
That family
She's
have so much
beautiful.
people around them. They're I see
Yep.
they party and
Yep.
they're a
That's
party
exactly what
family.
they are.
What? Who they talking? Who y'all talking about?
Party,
My grandchildren?
druggies, drunk. No.
Oh.
She's saying like the other side of
The
her
other
family.
side,
Oh
the
yeah.
girl family
Oh
is the
yeah. How
party
you know
family.
that?
Asking them side of family, yeah.
No,
How you know that?
Your godson blew a kiss at you. You better catch it, both of y'all. Mama and he blew a kiss at you. I mean,
Yeah. He look, met his second mom because she had
yeah, I
two
know.
boys. And I had and I just
Boss
had
said, "Who
him.
that
So
boss,
he
you trying to
always
trick me on
called. He had two sisters, so he called Mecca's sons his brothers. His
No, not
brothers
his
with a V.
brother.
I'm sorry. His
Yes.
brother with a
Right.
V.
Right.
Yes. With a V.
They know they're gonna correct her. She gonna correct us. But he's in heaven and he's oh my God, that's the joyful thing. He
But
has
this,
his wife.
I
Let me
laid
tell you
him on
something.
top of my mother. I gave him to my
Yeah.
mother. He was my mother's favorite.
It's something you used to cook and he used to love it, baby. He said he getting it better. He said, Mama, she could cook it better than everybody. It's something you used to cook
Yeah.
for him all the time. And he used to
The
love it.
stuffing.
Yep.
He loved that stuffing.
It was
I
something
got
that
on him
you
one time. We had a big thing. He in my cornbread stuffing. So he eating the cornbread before I even, you make the cornbread, you just got it
right.
sitting, before you make your other ingredients.
He
And he
eating
couldn't help it. He always digging in and get my cornbread.
And you see how he used his white clothes. He said, "Tell you the clothes." I could hear him in spirit saying, "Mama ain't got nothing but the clothes up here. They whiter than snow." You know what he's saying? And he's in heaven. You know what I'm saying? And
Because I used to get on him about he down here they used to wear a lot of in Virginia used to wear white t-shirts, white t-shirt. So I told him, I said, "Oh, so you just blended in. You just a Virginian now, huh? White tee.
But I love y'all. And my other
Thanks,
baby on here,
Faith.
my other baby on here, like, how she know all that? Boss, wake up! You sleeping? Is you up? Boss.
yeah, that's crazy. I'm sitting here like baffled right now. I'm baffled right now.
I love y'all. My nurse is here to give me my medicine. Y'all just keep me in y'all prayers.
All right.
I'm gonna be all right because we gotta
You got
all
this.
meet. Yeah, I got this. We got to all meet and do a meet and greet and do things. And but y'all very positive. Y'all, God put y'all as some friends. And don't never let nobody. Y'all not gonna do it because y'all let somebody talk stuff and y'all they'll be thinking they splitting y'all friendship up and y'all will jump them. You hear me? So I got to make sure I'm on both y'all side. All right. Y'all will get them, boy. Y'all will get them. But I love both.
Well,
of
you
y'all.
know what, Faith? Let me
I'm
tell you
right.
something. You are exactly right. We have been friends for 37 years. Nobody
Yes.
can tell me anything about her that if somebody come back and tell me something about her, I
You
can
don't.
more or less say whether she did it or not.
Right. And guess what?
And
Now
vice versa.
somebody they better not come tell you nothing because God said I put in your life and He put you
They
in her
can't
life.
tell me nothing. She ain't going
Mm-mm.
nowhere. She
She
tried
ain't
to
going nowhere.
She tried to break up with my friendship last year. I ain't going
No,
nowhere. What she talking
don't
about?
do she
Huh.
no, she wouldn't try to break up and
Huh.
sometimes we'll break down about our loved ones.
Huh.
It's called isolating a little bit. But
She ain't going nowhere. I ain't going
she ain't
nowhere.
going
We've
nowhere.
been friends. My mama love her. My kids love her. It is what it is.
And I got some good words for you too, but my nurse and Cam up in here, I gotta get my antibiotics and stuff, okay? If y'all
I
still
know.
on the
Won't they
line, I
come in
try to
there when you sleeping and want to take some blood? Talking about go back to sleep.
I call them the vampires. And then I got that good blood, that
All
always
right,
negative
Faith.
blood. All right. I see y'all later. Okay, bye, Chad. Hey,
I'll see you in the
Chad.
plug, at the
Bye.
plug.
I know. All right, my babies.
All right.
All right.
Well,
Captain signed
USC,
out. All right.
USC, both of us up here actually have a testimony. But I want her to get hers out first because mine have been told. But we both have a testimony, but I want her to get hers out first. So
Y'all, 6 years. And you know what was funny? They always needed paperwork and all types of stuff on his birthday and on the anniversary of his death. I got letters where I haven't heard from them all year, and they'll start requesting stuff on his birthday. I'll get a letter about him or the anniversary of his death. That is so, I could never understand that. Like, out of all the days, these are the only days y'all ask for stuff. I would get a phone call or either a letter. Yes.
yeah. So sometimes ministry.
What, Faith?
I
can still hear my sister.
Yeah, I'm reading the comments. Yeah. See? Don't you feel a little bit better? Just a little bit you shared?
Oh, I mean, I'm always okay. You know what I mean? I'm just always okay. It's just so much in-depth details that could really expose a lot of stuff in some people.
It can help a lot
Like
of
I
people.
said, when I'm ready to tell it, I'm going to tell it. I told what I want to tell because I feel like this is my family. I could share that, with y'all. But at the same time, instead of telling the story as if it's a story time, like we may be able to use this story just like Faith. You never know who's going through the same thing. And then there's power in numbers. Like what's the odds of me and her having the same attorney?
Right.
What's the odds of that? Like I had this attorney for my son and she had the same attorney for her mom. And both of them is not here today.
Right.
What's the odds of that? That is so ironic to me.
See, the odds of that is it was
and we
meant
in
for y'all.
totally different states.
Yeah, listen, I'm gonna tell you what it is. I'm gonna tell you. The odds of that it's not actually
You welcome USC.
It was meant to be. Okay? Remember when I said to you that what happened to me had to happen in order for me and Dr. Holtman to meet? Remember? So this live today, you coming up here today, it was meant for you and Faith, right? Because now both of y'all can share y'all experience with the same lawyer. So where there's smoke, there's fire. Everybody can't be.
And and that's why I'm saying it could be more. It could be more. So when we do set that date, I want a wide audience and I'm gonna have everybody share and tag that live, even on their social media, because even if I can help one person, or maybe there's some person that's just like me, where same thing happened to their child and their child didn't make the news, and how many mothers don't know which way to turn, which way to go, because everybody may not have a mother like Gladys to raise strong women, because a lot of those women that had kids that died in that hospital as well, 8 black men, it was like they were so crying and emotional, and was just told anything and just went for it because they were in low income areas, and but I wasn't going to be that. See, understand, before I went, I always do my research. I need to know where I'm going, what I'm up against. I know who was the prosecutor, who was this, who was that. I knew all that before I went. I made the mistake of calling the prosecutor thinking that he was on my side, saying, hey, because little did the prosecutor know, I went on ahead and did my own investigation. This is why they never knew there was a tape. But I told Mr. Crump that there was a tape. So this is how they obtained the tape from the store, because I told Mr. Crump. I never told them. This is little stuff that been going through my mind. Like I already did the investigation, so I laid it all out for Mr. Crump. It was very easy for him. So he got some experts and all that stuff, and they paid the autopsy people. It wasn't the regular hospital autopsy. It was a private one that the police paid for. And when I got the autopsy, all the police officers that killed him, plus the chief of police, they were all present watching the autopsy. They was all present. They was all there. And I was wondering why every time I kept calling the place asking for his autopsy report, they was like, we are a private facility. It's not ready. It's not ready. Girl, they had the autopsy 3 weeks to the district attorney before they even let me know it was done. They kept lying. And then a lady was like, listen to me. This is a private facility. This is not the hospital one. We were high. I was like, so, like, they kept saying this, but it didn't click. I don't know why the hell it didn't click. I'm like, private. But I mean, so what? Private, public? I don't give a damn. This is my thinking, but never once did I think, oh, this is private. The police is paying for this.
Right.
You didn't even ask my permission. No, nothing. Nothing. And I had to pay for his body to get done in Florida, then put it on a plane, then have it shipped to New York, then have a funeral, then bury him on top of my mother. That was so much and so much money.
Yeah.
And they did not want to give me, not even for the funeral. I had to physically threaten this man to give me the money that I spent back, because mind you, the kids didn't get nothing. He got all the money. But I told him, I said, I didn't expect to bury my son, and I didn't get no help. So what you're going to do, you're going to make sure they pay for his funeral expenses. And he was like, well, it's only this and that and that and this. I said, let me tell you something. If he don't, I threatened him. I did. I said, I'm going to go to every YouTube channel, platform, anybody that will listen, and I'm going to expose you guys. I said, because the revolution will not be televised. You hear me? And he was like, I want to meet you one day. Just a slick con artist. You hear me? Like, I seen him in a what's the movie with Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor?
Harlem Night?
Yes, just a slick talking nothing that pry on hurt mothers. And that's what I see when I see him.
Okay,
That's what I see when I see him.
So
You
what we
thinking, oh, you're going to get justice. This is wrong. This is unjust. All
We
you
gonna
want is justice. You're not thinking about money.
because it's listen, you're not the only one, right? So we're going to get it together, and then we're going to expose him, because you done already ran into one person. So if you ran into
I mean,
one,
I'm not trying to expose them. When I tell my story, if people feel the way they feel, then it is what it is. I'm spitting off facts. I'm not trying to expose him. I'm trying to
no,
tell
that's what
my
is
story
happening.
and I'm spitting facts. That's
Right,
it.
right. Your story will expose
I
his
don't care about him.
unprofessionalism.
I don't really care. I
I
mean,
don't
that's
mean
not important to me.
expose. I know that's not important to you, but your story, I know that's not your
I'm
purpose.
just hoping that nobody else like will fall for it because
Exactly.
it's ironic that it happened to Faith and I'm sure it happened to Trayvon Martin's mother and
Other
father
mother-
as well.
Right.
So if this story gets out, it's just like girls that got raped. You know, that's a shameful thing to some women, and they don't want to tell it. But once one come out, then another one come out, like the Me Too movement. So you never know how many people have played victim to that, and this may become a whole entity within itself. But
Exactly.
I don't want to use the term expose because I'm not vengeful. I'm not trying to be
No. Expose
vengeful.
don't necessarily have to be vengeful. Exposing can mean because you spoke out. Now other people is gonna come out, and the more people that come out, the more
You
they're
know what I
aware.
mean? I don't want it to, it can come
Exposure can
off.
be awareness, but let me finish. It can be awareness, not exposure as in you're doing something in malice. No, exposure as in you're letting other people
Right, USC.
being aware of what
Right,
you see. What I'm saying? That's what I
right.
mean by exposure, not like in a malice, like you going out your way to no, because we only deal with facts over here.
Yeah.
And the fact,
I don't want it to seem like I'm bitter or whatever. I
right?
do want to share my experience because it was really like in a emotional one. It's like having a baby, like for the first time. It's like an out of body, you know, experience, like you dreaming and then you wake up, and then it's like the length that people like the entitlement and the length that they will go to cover up and lie. Like you always hear about it, but it's really weird to experience that on hand. Like it's really weird and scary, and you feel like you're in a twilight zone. Like, is this really real in 2020? What's going on? Yeah, it's really weird.
Okay, so we've been on for 2 hours and 14 minutes.
Right.
And yeah, you got to start cooking. And I
Well,
want to
I'm just doing like the potato salad right now. Because potato salad I think is best after it sit for 2 days. You know what I mean? Let all the season and everything settle in. I hate fresh potato salad. I gotta like it after 2 days and let the seasoning set in. We gotta do that with potato salad. What else I probably do? I probably do the sweet potato pies and the cake, just the desserts and the salads. That's all.
well,
And then tomorrow I'm gonna make my meats. Tomorrow night I'm
I'll
gonna
be on.
make my meats, and then on Thanksgiving I'll make the macaroni and yams and stuff.
Okay, I'll be on. I'll be on. I'll be on the road.
He said, "Bring
Yeah, I'm
peace,
gonna leave
love,
it.
mercy, and the truth." Amen. USC.
And happy
Keep
holidays
going,
to UNC and Faith.
Happy
I
holidays.
enjoyed you and everybody that came out. I enjoyed y'all. We've been up here for 2 hours and 15 minutes. It will be more. This was unexpected. So the next time we'll have it all together for you guys. And I want to thank you guys for coming out. And don't go nowhere, Nisi. Don't go nowhere.
Here comes the boss.